Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Midday Market Monitor. We have a lot to discuss based on what Meta just came out and said today. Stock is up 9.8%. I'll give you guys some of the facts and then also some of my opinion. First up, Meta came out with a little bit of a comment saying that they are looking to potentially sell some of their compute. This idea alone could potentially push people to many different thoughts. One, that they are going to see an immediate return on a lot of their AI spend, and then it's diversifying their revenue sources, right? So maybe it all doesn't just come from advertising, and maybe advertising is a mix of that AI spend, but also, traditionally they didn't need all of the data center spends and the multi, $20+ billion partnerships with Nebius, well, $30 billion for Nebius, $21 billion for CoreWeave, and all of these other names. And then, in fact, all of that spend now is definitely going to find a home through other customers, but that's going to be an immediate return for Meta. Along with that, my camera's going to die here. It's saying that the camera or the battery is messed up. One sec. Along with those concerns, along with those benefits, comes potentially new forms of money. It also points investors to the idea of, will they continue up this spend of, spending tens of billions of dollars a year if they're already potentially looking at them having excess compute? Usually whenever you have too much of something and you're going to go sell it, you're not going to go buy more unless you can continue to sell it. Right? Like AWS, Google, or Microsoft Azure. That continuous selling actually created a completely new business, and that's the hyperscalers. Now, the interesting part about this that I find is some of the comments. Is it excess compute, and will they end up slashing costs or slashing their spend if what they're spending on data centers is less than what they're making from selling it externally? Like what SpaceX did. SpaceX ended up setting up 2 data centers, Colossus 1 and Colossus 2, spending tens and tens of billions of dollars to set up those data centers. And now, obviously, they didn't need it for Grok, and Grok was, fell out of being in the frontier sort of conversations. And so, Elon decided that they're going to find Anthropic and Google and Reflection AI and Cursor and all of these different companies that they're going to sell the compute for. Or sell the compute to. The interesting part about that, and why that was not a bear case for SpaceX or for NVIDIA or CoreWeave and Nebius and these sort of names, is that they sold it at roughly 3x market rates. And they did that because of different reasons. The flexibility of the terms of the deal, they're very short-term in nature. And then 2, because it was a data center that was up and ready today. Okay. Whenever that happens, companies that need the compute today, like Anthropic, are willing to pay much, much higher prices. Same with Google. Google says they're completely compute constrained, and so they actually went to SpaceX and are paying that 3x market rate. So the surprising thing that I find today is that, NVIDIA is down 1.4% on the idea that Meta is selling this excess compute, but yet there's customers that they're going to find that will pay higher than market rates for this compute, and there's raising costs of GPUs still. So how does that signal that there is a bearish sign in artificial intelligence? Maybe Meta doesn't need it. Maybe Anthropic does. Maybe there's another company that they essentially will end up finding customers. And Serenity on X ended up saying this good little breakdown of what's happening at CoreWeave, which is down 13.4%, and Nebius, which is also down roughly 15%. These companies are falling off a cliff because maybe they won't see continuous extensions of their Meta deals or something like this. But I like the way that they sort of put it into terms, and we can have a read on this. Basically, pre-market right now, the neo clouds like Nebius, we can put into simpler terms. Costco sells $5 chickens. Walmart mass purchases those chickens and then sells them off as Walmart chickens. The stock market then sells off Costco because Walmart is now selling chickens. This is essentially what happened. You know, Costco is the neo clouds, and Meta is Walmart. And Meta is buying from Nebius and CoreWeave and then reselling it for higher prices. And you're selling the company that originally is giving them their compute. So how are you putting that together? We're having some dip buyers in here, Amit saying, you know what, I'm going to call the market's bluff here. We actually do need more compute. And we can listen to quite a long interview with Alex Karp, and we will here in a minute. It's going to be roughly like 12 minutes long, so I apologize, but he says a lot of very interesting things, some stuff that I agree with, some stuff that I don't. But I'll let you guys listen to it, and it's quite amazing. Is this bearish AMD? So it depends on how you think about it. Meta compute. So this is the way that I'll give you my opinion. Is it bearish AMD? One, I said Meta should do this. I said for a long time that Meta could, like, one of the flexibilities that they have is that they could immediately do what SpaceX did, which, by the way, SpaceX selling compute was not bearish for SpaceX because they're building a terafab. So the same company that's taking the prudent choice of selling compute for, at minimum, 3-month deals, at maximum like 5+ years, and saying, hey, we don't need the compute right now. You might. Your company is doing very well with this compute. Grok is falling behind a little bit. But we see the direction of where artificial intelligence is going. And so we're going to build out terafabs. Tera. Not gigafabs, terafabs. And they want to get into the memory space. They want to get into the custom silicon space. They want to do all of these things because they believe that TSM and Intel and Samsung are strapped, like fully, like huge shortages. They're putting their foot on the gas and they're not going as fast as the market wants. Yet at the same breath, they're also selling compute. This is what's happening with Meta. Is Meta seeing the light at the end of the tunnel that's essentially indicating to them that the music is about to stop and they don't want to be the company that's playing musical chairs, and like maybe they're finding a seat early? Or are they essentially taking advantage of the market's extreme pricing right now, like SpaceX did with the 3x market rates, and are able to make some money while they figure out their strategy? Which, once we end up finding those deals and we end up seeing Meta signing these deals, I bet you they're going to be paying quite a pretty penny for Meta compute if we even see any deals signed. At the same breath, if you think Meta is speaking for the rest of the market here, one, how are they going to sell the compute if some, like, that won't even make any sense if they're not going to find customers for it. But two, the rumor happened maybe 2 weeks ago that they were looking to raise more money. That Meta wanted to sell shares of their business, which were essentially around $550 not long ago, and raise more money to end up building out even more. How can that be possible if they're also looking to sell compute today? Unless they still are wanting to do that, but they need a better stock price so then they're not diluting shareholders too much. And so they say, hey, we're going to keep our options open, we're going to stay flexible, and we're going to potentially sell compute. But in the same breath, we're going to be still focused on our mission and eventually raise, but at a higher stock price. That's what I think is going to happen. The reason why I believe that is because companies that are also in their area, like Google, did just raise $85 billion. They didn't talk about it. They did it. Okay. They ended up paying SpaceX 3x the market rate. That doesn't sound like excess compute. That sounds like a lot of customers who want a lot of tokens. So we'll see. But yeah, Meta is up on this news. Let's go ahead and listen to Alex Karp, because obviously he has a different opinion here. And he says a lot of things. It's very long. It's hard to cut through what he's trying to say and what he's not, in my opinion, because he talks about, the need for more compute. He talks very bullishly on AI. He talks about the winners and losers, but on the same breath, he also talks about how no company is focused on making free cash flow. And I don't think you get one without the other. But let's go ahead and have a listen.
Table, Alex Karp, Palantir's co-founder and CEO, and CNBC's Seema Modi, who covers Palantir, joins us and tell us about the deal with NVIDIA. There's so many things I think we all want to talk about, but let's get to the NVIDIA deal first.
Because I have so much respect for NVIDIA and Jensen Huang, I'm going to try to keep this more adult than I usually do. But the truth is, if you want to know how this came together, from my perspective, there are a lot of technical issues. Who controls the models? Who controls the weights? Who controls the value of your business? We're sitting on critical infrastructure across America, Ukraine, Israel. Everyone who uses LLMs on the battlefield runs on top of our ontology. And our clients are just, to say they're unhappy with the Frontier Labs is to say I'm welcome at the Berkeley faculty. It's like there's just a level of discomfort and loss of trust that also made it really, really...
Okay, unpack that. What do you mean by that?
Well, you have, okay, so when you're using large language models, at this point, everyone technical realizes they're like a critical resource. To make them valuable in an enterprise like battlefield context or regulated context or manufacturing, you have to have what's called an application layer. And we have this thing called ontology that now everyone's copying, but de facto, it takes a large language model, it makes it safe and useful and precise. So safe because it doesn't touch your underlying data, safe because it prevents the large language model from caching your data and replicating your business, safe because it doesn't transfer your IP of how to fight, secret data, top secret data, or in a clinical context. So the general way these things were sold, and again, these people are, Sam and Dario, there's nothing more fun than debating Dario in private. So I'm not throwing shade at them, but.
Okay. Real quick, just, there's nothing more fun than debating Dario in private is unbelievable shade, but let's continue.
Something has gone completely wrong. And the basic view among enterprises in this country is I'm going to chillax and waste my time with tokens. I'm going to get no value and they're going to get my IP.
Now that sounds like shade.
Okay.
Though. And not just shade. It sounds like if you're saying these.
No. Sorry. This is reporting.
Okay.
And this is reporting that I've literally against my own interest called. These are like, I'm profiting from this, right? So the reality is you may not like us at my former school, Haverford or Berkeley, but enterprises in this country trust and love us, especially ones that are involved in critical infrastructure, both public and private. Okay, so I want for those countries, we're coming up to July 4th, I want for us and our friends across the globe to have the very best tech resources. In fact, the whole secret of Palantir is the forward deployed model, the products that have been 5 years ahead. You've been with me for a long time. Everyone said FDEs were services. They said, we don't even know what an ontology is. That's the only thing people talk about now. The secret was we delivered the best things for the warfighters. Those warfighters have serious trust issues, but it's not just the war vis-a-vis Frontier Labs. Then you have my enterprises in the private sector who have the same issues. They're like, why would they get access to my data if they're going to build my alpha? Why wouldn't I control the weights? And that's where you get this partnership. What aligns me with NVIDIA, and I think is what the technical customers want, which is control over their compute, their models, their data stack, and their alpha. They want to know they own the means of production. It's not being transferred to someone else. They're not interested in some fake deploy co that somehow is deploying tokens that transfers the alpha to a third party. And the jig is up. And so we have to figure out a way, our products are agnostic. We now sell a product to customers that allows you to switch from model to model and we're completely agnostic. But we need to rebuild trust. And that trust is going to happen where everyone gets to ask and answer basic questions. Who owns the data? Where is it cached? Are the prompts secure? Is this being transferred to you? Are you being okay, if it was so valuable, let's say I can make you $1 billion
Right.
tomorrow. Wouldn't I say, I'll make you $1 billion and I want 30%? Why are they charging for tokens if it's so valuable?
So then, Alex, if the key, from what I'm hearing you say, is a secure, American-born, open-source model, how quickly can your model compete with the frontier AI
Well, no,
models in
what
terms
I'm
of
saying is
reasoning
that-
and agentic AI
Yeah,
tasks?
okay. What I am claiming, obviously slightly true, but slightly self-centered, is it's the model plus an application layer plus compute. It is really all three. So in our jargon, it's the value, the reason, okay, just look at our financials. The reason why everyone is chillaxing with bad financials and growth with losing money is the client refuses to pay the true cost. The two places that actually make money, like profit, free cash flow, are our application layer called ontology and compute. Okay, what I am not just claiming, we can take an open model and in the classified or non-classified context, get it to the point of a frontier model. But A, you control the weights. So what is the true cost? Not just what you're paying. The true cost is not just, is what you make minus what you lose, meaning the value of your business. So we can get the frontier application to be exactly the same as a frontier model without the risk of transferring the alpha of your business to another. By the way, you could do this with a frontier closed model too, but then the clients have to be able to ask and answer very basic questions. Are you keeping the data? Are you going to enter our business? What do you, in the classified context, when the Department of War goes to you and says, I need this application, do they get to control the weights to do it? Or
Really quick, just before he trails off even further, I just wanted to make a comment about the free cash flow. It just doesn't make sense that way. The way that he's putting it, obviously, the software companies that are not actually building out the AI factories or the data centers are obviously going to have high margins, right? And I think Palantir is going to be a big part of that. And I'm a shareholder now. I'm not anti the comments that he's saying, but to say that the other companies that do not have free cash flow are not running their businesses profitably is also not true. Okay, those companies' operating margins are climbing. The cost of goods, the cost to deliver their services, after everything, after sales and marketing, after research and development, after all of this, is profitable, and increasingly so. From all of the major hyperscalers, all of the neoclouds, it's increasingly more operating margin positive. Okay. That being said, if you have an opportunity, you're going to spend rigorously, because essentially what you're doing is you're building these factories today and you're selling it over years. So if you know, the return doesn't happen immediately whenever you put up a new fabrication, whenever you put up a new data center. TSMC building all these new fabs, those fabs will not be positive for like a really long while, because the initial build out is the most expensive part. To then operate those data centers over time to, and people even say that the GPUs over time end up depreciating in value at very quick rates. That can all be true. Okay. We can debate whether or not chips are lasting 6-7 years rather than the initial thoughts of it being like 2, 3, 4 years. But anyway, the shell, the power, the land, well, actually not the power, but the shell and the land, that stuff remains consistent. Okay. Those are fixed costs. Once those are paid for, they're done. The power and the GPUs, you can consider, let's say, variable costs based on how much you're actually using in the chips and how they change over time. But that part needs to remain extremely, like you need to be profitable on that over the course of a year. The annual cost to run the data center and the annual amount of money that you're going to make on it, whether you're signing mega deals like Anthropic, OpenAI, or Meta, that's one thing. Or if you're doing what Google and Amazon, Nebius is doing, like finding a bunch of small customers, as long as you're profitable there, they can continue to do that. And that's why they all are ramping up. That's why CoreWeave is massively in debt and Oracle is massively in debt, and Amazon and Google and Microsoft Azure are spending more and more on data centers. Is not because they all see a losing business. It's because they see a major one with a very expensive ticket to entry. Okay. It's a different business than Palantir is in. And, you know, maybe Palantir deserves a much larger valuation than those companies because they don't need to go through those expenses and they can collect their fee for service and, you know, all of these things. But that's not to say, as Karp just described them, as being negatively profiting businesses. That's not true.
Do you get to control the weights? Are we really going to outsource the battlefield of this country to the consensus view in Silicon Valley? That is effing insane. And by the way, every single enterprise in this country in private, a lot of them don't want to speak in public because it gets outsourced to the neurodivergent crazy person that apparently is on drugs, the one thing I don't do. Okay, so that's my role. But I'm telling you, in this country, at every single enterprise I deal with, these people are livid. They're like, I am paying for tokens that create no value. These people are stealing the weights and alpha of my business, and they're creating a wealth tax that does not help the poor. It just punishes, starts with the billionaires. Every single person at this table is going to be paying a wealth tax only to punish us. And the reason for it is because these models have been completely irresponsibly oversold. And the sell is, it's dangerous for everyone, which is why I can give it to all your adversaries, but I can't give it to the Department of War, or I can't safely give it to an enterprise in this country without being certain that the alpha of that business could transfer to this model tomorrow, i.e. I have no business, no job.
You sound pretty angry.
No, this is the voice of American business that is being channeled through me. And I'm telling you, it is absolutely a problem for this country because we are on the cutting edge of every single AI technology. But if you're going to triply oversell something, and by the way, the enterprises are just tired of it. But by the way, just a minute. I want everybody watching this to test what I'm saying, especially investors who think somehow this is working. Pick up the phone and call a CEO in private, not in public. Every single person here can do this. Call 2 or 3 and say, Madman Karp is on TV saying we're livid. I'm not going to quote you. You know I won't quote you. You have a history. And see, they're twice as livid as me.
So if you're right, though, does that mean that we are living in some kind of terrible AI bubble and that we're going to, in a quarter or 2 or 3 quarters from now, we're going to hear that big enterprises are?
I think one of the things is, I'm sure they are livid. They keep showing up and paying the rates, you know? I'm sure people are livid with NVIDIA. I'm sure people are livid with Palantir on the prices that they charge for their services. But if you have nowhere else to go, you pay the rates begrudgingly and then use their services. All these enterprises that are pissed, why would you be pissed if you weren't a customer? Why don't you just say, hey, it's not worth the money, I'm not going to pay it? Put 1 and 2 together. That said, for those people, I saw some comments talking about Alex Karp being a little bit heated here and why even Becky is saying this. Every conversation I listen to Alex Karp in his own earnings calls, to this CNBC meeting, or to the last, New York Times, book summit that he was on recently with Andrew Sorkin right now on screen. He's screaming, this is him at all times. So I wouldn't actually think of this as being any different than any of the other times that he has given a microphone.
Canceling their subscriptions to these products, or that the build out is going to slow because the math doesn't add?
This is the tragedy of it. The reality of compute plus ontology plus model is changing the course of history. Ask the Ukrainians, ask the Israelis, ask our Department of War, ask the enterprises that are working. We do not have to oversell what we have. And it's all being built in this country. Basically, except for the open models, which is a real thing coming from China, except for NVIDIA open models, which are world-class, basically. It's all being built here. We do not have to overhype. We do not have to overhype it to the point where we're going to have wealth tax punishing.
Right, but if they're charging the enterprise 3 times as much as they should be, and then they have to pull back on that changes the math of all of this.
Who's the they? Like
the they are the large language models, which by the way impacts your partner NVIDIA.
Sorry. I'm talking about the enterprises that power this country as the most important thing. You're talking about the they as Frontier Labs in Silicon Valley. That's great. I'm focused on the enterprises
Where
of
do
this
the
country. And
hyperscalers fall in this?
Well, it depends what they're selling. That's very, very downstream from us.
Yeah.
We're completely agnostic. We prefer a world where there are more hyperscalers, where there's all sorts of new hyperscalers, Elon, NVIDIA. We like that world. Why do we like the world? The same reason when you go online and there's 50 kinds of coach, you get to pick the one you like. But what is happening among the most technical players is they're saying, I want something I own. This is my business. I want to own the GPUs. I want to own my data. I want to own the model. I want to control the alpha.
So is that creating more opportunity for Palantir? Are you already seeing the government cancel contracts with Anthropic and OpenAI and saying we want to work with Palantir?
Literally not here to talk about what's going to happen to a very important business in the country, except for obviously to some extent mine. In my business, we have much more demand than we can supply. That's like, and by the way, it may be somewhat, maybe the crazy person that still only cares about free cash flow, but we have more business than we can supply. And we have, look, if you just look at our financials, right, you can see like 2 years out, you can see $15-18 billion in free cash flow.
So are you frustrated by the stock's performance over the last?
You know what? I've been at this for 20 years. We've been at this talking this. When we first started talking, people were like, is this a services company? Is it worthless? The markets are short-term, very fickle, and also, quite frankly, where I would throw some shade, what investors actually understand tech? They think because they're very high IQ and they understand certain things, they understand what they're using. Basically, the fault of investors is typically, I use it, therefore it's valuable. Yeah, what an enterprise uses, it's doing complicated manufacturing or pharmacological research or putting a bomb on or bringing special forces people home safely, very different than what you're using.
Do you think if you're a pharmaceutical company or you're the government, should you not be therefore using Anthropic or an OpenAI without your layer on top? I mean, would you say that's dangerous for them?
You look, first of all, honestly, the one thing that I am slightly frustrated about, when OpenAI or Anthropic especially are talking about critical infrastructure, it only is being used in our product, my product. And there's a reason for that. These things are very, very valuable. What they have done building models is world historic. And just so you see, I'm not throwing shade. Dario is a literally historic figure. And he came from behind and he's now number one. Almost no one in the world. I've been in business, whatever you want to call I do for a long time, never seen anything like this. Okay, so the reality is critical infrastructure does not run these models without an application layer. In almost all cases, and maybe it won't be all cases someday, that application layer is our ontology. That's a fact. And there's a reason for it. It's not that, as you know, some people love me, some people hate me. They're not buying it because of that. They're buying because these things have to be made safe. And I'm going to trust you. You should trust me because I've never lied. BS thing. That just doesn't cut it at this level. And enterprises are run by the shrewdest. American enterprises are run by the shrewdest, most wily intelligent people on the planet. If you think they're going for that, you can go try to sell me. Like my parents still want me to get a job as a faculty member at Berkeley. Go try to get me a job at Berkeley. I'm very qualified. It's not happening.
Do you agree with the notion of the most robust, powerful AI models should be withheld from the public due to cybersecurity risks?
Look,
from Anthropic and OpenAI?
You really have to make one of the things we're really trying to get the West to do is move away from not liking it. These are very technical. What does the model do? Who's restricted to? I would say it is a loser to restrict something from the government because you don't agree with how the government fights war and then open it up to the world, including our adversaries. Go sell that to the American people where they already don't like you.
You have a lot of data that you look at. Do you think China is getting better at AI? How is the gap narrowing?
There are two relevant tech centers, and 2.5, America, China, Israel. Those are the tech centers of the world. And I spent half my life in Europe. I want Europe to be relevant. And Sweden has a real tech scene. You have to be, can't just but the relevant tech centers, we have a peer-to-peer adversary in China. China has lots of advantages, including, quite frankly, we have to find ways to make these models raise the standard of living for every America. And we need a sense, Americans need to have a sense it's not just the people at this table, people watching it getting rich, and there are real issues there. And then we have left and right far left, far right, gone completely nuts. You would think that the greatest problem in the world, if you were on the far left, is somehow it's like if things work, it's evil and bad. By the way, I've been wholesale kicked out of my own party because I warned that this was going to happen on the left. And it is happening. Then you have on the far right, like it's like on both sides, you think the biggest problem of our society are like warlocks roaming the street, building technology. Of course they can't understand it. Like they attack Palantir for the craziest. China doesn't have that problem. But it also doesn't have the creativity, ingenuity, and deep tech creativity we have. But the reality is, it's not a foregone conclusion that we win. That we have the biggest problem in this country on these debates is we debate these things as if we don't have adversaries. It's not actually true. It's binary. They will win or we will win.
Let me ask you, I just want to pivot to a slightly different conversation, but related. You have been a proponent and great supporter of Israel over the years, great support of Israel. And right now we have a ceasefire in the Middle East, which we hope holds. Having said that, there is a bit of space between where the U.S. is now and where Netanyahu is on what is happening here and whether they ultimately.
The rest of the conversation is regarding Israel and their partnerships with them and these sort of things. If you guys want to check that out, you can watch the full interview on CNBC with Alex Karp. But for the market-related conversations, that was Alex Karp's take on a lot of things. And I think that he was, like I said at the start, sort of having me confused with some of the comments that he said. So one, absolutely revolutionary technology. We can never put the genie back in the bottle. That is artificial intelligence. Two, many companies are going to want to own their own GPUs and they're going to want to own their own models. They want to control the stack, vertically integrated. That sounds bullish to me on the selling of AMD and NVIDIA and Broadcom and these sort of things. They just might not want it hosted at different businesses. Now, will the small companies be able to customize or create their own custom silicon? No. So there's always going to be a layer for AMD and NVIDIA to sell chips to customers that are not going to be able to build it in-house. In the next breath, I think that he is, well, he's not wrong to say that I think the frontier models have a terrible messaging for artificial intelligence. You're essentially putting the fear of God into people, and you are going to create these wealth taxes and all of these things because you're scaring people into believing that there is going to be the haves, which will essentially be deities with this power of trillion geniuses in a data center, and the people who do not have access to these tools will be left behind. This type of fear speak and this sort of thing is what's actually going to create the biggest downfall for those businesses, even though it's a fear tactic for the people who get early access to Fable 5 and these sort of things to spend tons of tokens with Anthropic and utilize their products. So I agree with Alex Karp on a lot of things there. I just don't know if, it's early enough to say that the frontier models or that the companies that are spending for the data centers will eventually lose and that, they're not profitable or these sort of things. I don't think that that's an accurate statement to make. These are smart CEOs as well, same as, the customers that Palantir has and all of these things, they all are trying to profit and grow their revenue. And that's why they're spending on Anthropic today. And that's why they continue to buy more GPUs for the next versions of Anthropic and all of these things that they believe will continue to get smarter over time. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, shout out to Tim, by the way. Tim, thank you so much. First stream of the week. Hope Canada wins the World Cup. Who knows? Thanks for all the hard work become a member. Thanks, Tim. And then he also gave some YouTube memberships as well. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Am I buying the CoreWeave dip? I'm likely to. I haven't made a purchase at all today. I've been just a little bit busy. It is Canada Day today, so it's busy. And then once I end the stream, I'll be leaving. I am going outside today, guys. You wouldn't believe it. 25% of my portfolio is in CoreWeave. I ran in Nebius. I'm adding here. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a slowdown here. I don't think Google would have spent $85 billion if they're seeing the same commentary from their customers that are completely pissed, yes, yet paying the bill. Like, to me, that just doesn't add up. Obviously, they're going to look for some workarounds. And if that's open source models out of China, GLM or something like this, they will pay for those models because they're going to get many more tokens for less price. But it doesn't mean that the frontier models, if they see pressure that's going to bring those companies down, that they can't lower prices as well. The pricing advantage is in their favor. So yeah. What is Canada Day? It's like your guys' July 4th. Ours is July 1st. Tanner, what stocks do you hold in your portfolio? I'm pretty open about everything that I hold and talk about it every day. But if you want to see the actual like trades and everything like that, you can go to futureinvesting.pro. That's your upsell for the day. Back to being a normal human being. Let's take a look at the stock market. SoFi running right now up 5%, 1883. But if I scroll up to these green names, we have a lot of names doing extremely well that are in the portfolio. So Reddit, which I've been a big proponent of, up 13.6%, almost back above $200 a share. Coinbase, I don't have in my portfolio, but it is in the stock draft, up 12.4%. This name is up because they're going to benefit from a potential change in stablecoins that I've pretty much everyone I think has been able to foresee, which is that the big beneficiary is not going to be able to capture all the unit economics. This was because 130, 140 plus companies ended up partnering with OpenUSD, where they are going to be giving the large share of the actual money that they accumulate by people actually owning those stable coins and then having T-bills and all of these things. The interest that they make on those coins will be given back to the companies that have actually generated the ability to create those coins. The companies that hold them should make the interest, okay? Just like customers that have a SoFi or Hood checking account, they should be the ones to get the APY. It shouldn't all go to the banks. That's essentially the hope here with OpenUSD, and whether or not Circle ends up winning, which, the company's up 3%. But if you look yesterday, they were down greatly because of this news. So we're not really up 3%. We're just slightly recovering from a large dip. Yesterday, we were as high as, $76. Today, $64. So alongside that, there's other companies, SoFi USD and these sort of things that can give back the unit economics that they've made no money on right now. So anything, even if it's 5% of the amount of interest or 95% is what they keep, all of it is additive. But for a company like Circle, their models are being put out by Wall Street that essentially suggest that, how much can they scale to having these types of unit economics without bringing them down? So if there's big pricing pressure, it could put a lot of concerns on Circle. Let's continue here, though, not just on Circle, but on the names that are working. D-Local up nearly 12%. They got an upgrade by, what was the analyst, but essentially to a $20 price target. They said the company continues to do well, hold up good pricing. This was from UBS. UBS gave them an upgrade from $16 up to $20. We see a combination of strong growth path with improving operating leverage and re-rate potential, giving the rising market confidence after a series of solid results. Growth should be supported by rising global digitalization and still low e-commerce penetration in emerging markets, which is where they operate. This company is also in the portfolio, my portfolio, not the stock draft. So that's doing very well. AppLovin also up 10%, doing extremely well. Meta, selling that compute, giving the value investors of Meta confidence that they will see a return on a lot of the CapEx spend, regardless of if they use it or if they feel that compute it will be better utilized selling it at, X market rate to a company that is actually requiring it, maybe Anthropic, something like this. Okay. SoFi's doing very well. HIM's up 8.9%. Figma up 9%. BMNR is up 9% today on rising Ethereum rates, but yet we're still quite sold off on that name. But yeah. Palantir up 8.6%. And it's not just Palantir after the long talks that Alex Karp gave, but what you're really seeing is a big benefit to all software names today. You can kind of see this whether you look at IGV, up almost 4% today, but HubSpot is up 3.6%, and Airbnb and Microsoft up 3.7%, Netflix up 3.7%, Spotify and Upstart, and all of these different software companies are seeing great growth today. Zoom up 4.8%, Monday.com up 5.5%, Zscaler up 5.5%. There's a lot of names that are seeing some great ads today at the cost of much of the AI infrastructure trade. Okay, a little bit of a rotation. Nebius down almost 14, Corning down 13, CoreWeave down 12.2%, SanDisk down 10.4%, Air Test Systems down 9.3%, Micron down 9.3%. A lot of the AI infrastructure trade is taking big hits. So where are we today on the stock draft? The stock draft is coming in right now, showing Matt Money in number 1. Myself in number 2. We're the only people sporting positive returns right now. And then, surprisingly, even though there's a decent gap between first and second, and then third through sixth being down 3.5% down to 5.1%. But this shows you how fast Amit's portfolio can come back. Okay. And the game is not even remotely close to over. Amit could absolutely take first place, but it's crazy to see how fast he can come from, being down 9.7%. And this is still without, BE or Galaxy Digital down 20%. NVIDIA not seeing any love. SanDisk not seeing any love right now. He's got a lot of that AI infrastructure that's getting beaten up today. But yet Reddit allows him to come back because that company is up almost 11%. Okay. Matt's doing extremely well. He has a SpaceX short. He's also betting positively on ASTS, Nubank, SoFi, which I would have loved to have those two names. He stole them from me. Both Nubank and SoFi belong in my portfolio, but that's all right. He's got Amazon, which is flat right now, Duolingo, which is down a little bit. Micron and Chegg are both down roughly 7 to 14%. Without those names, he would be rocketing higher. All right. And Jason, surprisingly, was like first yesterday. Like he skyrocketed up. He was up 1.34%, and now he's down, what is it? 5.2% because Corning just took a big hit. The company was up 31% yesterday. And Qualcomm and Nebius and all of these companies had major hits today. So a big, big swing in his portfolio took him from first down to sixth in a day. The game is not over till it's over. But, I don't mind my portfolio. It's funny that the company that brought us to first place at the beginning, which made us up like 1.3% right at the beginning of the draft, was SMCI, up 15% day one, is now our biggest loser, down 7.5% on literally, and I'm not joking, more fraudulent claims of them potentially smuggling more chips into China. Okay. One, I think it was, I don't remember the exact agency that did it, but they raided their office. That's getting people concerned that maybe they have some real evidence to potentially suggest that raid. Okay. That being said, ASML down 4.5%, QXO down 3%, Palantir now only down 1%, even though that was the name that was at the biggest loss, and Hood. My two biggest losses earlier on was Palantir and Hood, and now they're the closest to being green. So the portfolio has flipped around quite quickly. Mercado Libre doing well, up 6, Visa up 7, Rubrik up 18.5. Those companies have been solid for the last little bit. And Microsoft, the fact that this company is green for me now and I get to hold it at this price, like I'm super excited for what the rest of the year has to hold for me. Not only do you get the benefit of the software trade in that rotation, if that's what ends up happening, that's going to be great for Microsoft 365. But if the AI infrastructure trade continues on, they're also one of the biggest spender of chips, setting up data centers. They also just announced that they're doubling their capacity, right? Adding on another 2 gigawatts here in America, I think in Texas. So, yeah, that looks great. But the portfolio for me, there's not too much that I'm holding that I'm too worried about. The only thing is, for real, is Vertiv. The more I look at that name and explore it, the more I think it might be a little bit more priced accordingly. They have a lot of growth there. I took Palantir and Hood from Amit. Yes, both. I got them both. Palantir was taken by Tanner very early, so he didn't have too much opportunity to get it. Why, whenever you guys make fun of me for not picking SoFi or New, do you ever say, well, he didn't actually have a lot of time? You guys look at me like, if you didn't pick it first, you're dead to me. But you're giving Amit all this additional rope. I didn't trade Amit for anything. I just took it before him. Yeah. They all tried to pick Tanner's picks. It would be funny if he won the draft. I mean, I would enjoy it. We'll see what actually ends up happening, but it's way too early for me to get excited. But some of the names that I have, I think we're going to see, like I'll know once we start seeing earnings, whether or not companies continue to head in the direction that I want and actually put up great numbers. That's where I think some real positions are going to get solidified, whether we know the short from Matt will be well-timed or not, or, whether Rubrik continues on its growth spree, or many of these companies that we think are winners right now, earnings is going to be what I think really sets that apart. Yeah. Did he touch on CoreWeave yet? Ever so slightly. There's not much for me to say. I think that these companies selling off on, the market's forward looking, but essentially what Meta is doing is they're saying, hey, you know what? There's a time right now where we can't use this compute. We're going to be flexible enough to sell compute, let's say for 3 months or something like this. We have these major contracts with these companies that we're not going to end up canceling. We're going to continue to pay for. And if we need anything, we can sell that off to another buyer if they're willing to pay more than what we paid. And that's what, Manuel said on X, which I thought was great. He said, can you really call it excess compute if you can resell it at a higher price than what you paid for? I don't think so. I agree with that. I think that's well said. They're not selling this for pennies on the dollar. No one's going bankrupt. They're making money on this. And so CoreWeave, I'm not worried about. Nebius, I'm not worried about. I think that the market is going to have, and this is for many years, for both AI infrastructure and for the software names, people are going to be in this constant, is this dead? Is this a bubble? Or is this less than we thought? Or are people going to continue to use the software names that we expected to use? That's going to be very important. Are you live streaming the Hood event? Is that today? Is that at 2? Wait, is that today? Hold on a minute. If that's today, I'll definitely be listening. Robinhood, is that at 2 o'clock? It's in 10 minutes. Yes, I will listen to that 100%. Oh man, I needed this to be a shorter day. It's Canada Day, so I'm headed out, but in the same breath, I mean, we have just unbelievable meta news. markets, software, fintech, all running. The portfolio looks amazing. The draft is doing well. Everything's looking up. And Robinhood's doing well and is about to show off some new products. And here I am having to potentially leave earlier than I want to. Can someone DM me? Where the heck do I find this? Or let me check. Is it on X? I would expect them to be live streaming this on their Robinhood Presents. Okay, I have it. I'm good now. Okay. Yes, we will be listening to the Hood presentation. There is a YouTube link. Ooh. Robinhood Presents. Like, I don't know why I can't see that. Okay, let me change the title on the YouTube channel as well. Give me any questions if you guys want. We'll answer some questions for the next 8 minutes about this market. No, I'm not looking to sell anything. No, my conviction has not changed. NVIDIA's the GOAT. I think we're going to see a lot more spending because here's the thing too. Meta's looking to raise money and Google just ended up raising $85 billion. And all the companies that are selling excess compute, like SpaceX, is getting 3x the market rate, which means companies are extremely hungry. The world is flat. I really can't find it on YouTube for some reason, but I have it on X here, so that's fine. Okay. Let's do this. There we go. Tanner, the link is here. My man. Dude, I don't know why it was not working. Okay, so we'll be good to go on that event. We'll be listening to it. Good luck, everyone. Let's see the stock price as that goes on. He has mods for no reason. Brother, I got it from you. I clicked on your link. Question. Can you convince Steve to turn off ads on his live? It'll be good for his brand. I don't know. We don't run ads here. Not on the live streams. But you know what I'm all really quick, just before we're about to jump into this Hood event, I want to talk quickly about the YouTube channel. The live streams are awesome. And I love it. And I know I stumble on my words and everything, but you know, you guys have shown up and have been great supporters, even though I and and like, and, you know, I have all those filler words. I'm not actually a good speaker for the job that I have, but hopefully the information is useful. That said, the videos, I'm getting way, way better reception on the videos than I am the live streams. Come the earnings season, it's hard for me to do an early morning stream to do the stocks like SoFi and these sort of ones that end up showing off their numbers in the morning, and then do a mid-roll one, and then do a market close, because then there's all these stocks that do it at night that I also want to cover, and I want to do all that. And then after I do those 3 live streams, fit in a video that Marshall can help me put together. I might just end up doing the beginning and end streams, and then work on videos in the middle to talk about the things that we had learned. So I think the live streams are going to come way down in terms of the amount that I'm putting out. And even these streams outside of earnings season, I might start to do, let's say 3 a weeks or something like this, rather than every day. I still do a member-only stream, and I'll continue those. But I think that's going to be my outlet, and then focus on the videos, because the videos are just being seen 5x more. So people seem to really resonate with that. And I know I'm talking to the people who are not happy with this decision, but I'm only talking to the live stream audience, not the video audience. Why not just do shorter streams? Well, I definitely have. I mean, I've not even done a lot of streams all the way to 2:30 anymore. I've been going to 2 o'clock to buy me that extra 30 minutes. But yeah. Okay. Tanner, turn on live stream ads. No, I don't want to do that. Makes no sense. If you're listening to an earnings call, it would make me beyond furious if an advertisement popped up mid earnings call. Resonate, not resignate. Yeah, you're right. Daily L. There's 1,700 people watching right now. Yes, but you can just do the thing. Go look at my last live streams. You know, I'll get like 8,000, 10,000 views on these things, which I'm not ungrateful for. That's insane. But I'll put out videos. Like my Palantir video got like 40,000 views. And then my list video that I put out got like 70,000 views. There's like 7x the amount of people who want to see that content rather than the live streams every day. And I honestly just think that it's better content. This is sort of like what my brain's doing. Like, okay, well, I'm getting real-time information. This is what I'm thinking and blah. Whereas the videos are more like, okay, let me sit through this. Let me actually do the calculation. Let me see the numbers. Let me visualize these for you. But they take time to make. You know, okay, this video is starting up. Talk to you guys later. Enjoy. Never mind. Has not started yet. Can Marshall live stream in your place? That's funny. I don't think he wants to. Let's see. I respect your decision, although I love your streams. Thank you. Thank you. No, I'll still be doing streams. It just might be shorter, something like this. Maybe I start by doing 30-minute streams a day. Something like even that, I think, is a long period of time to come on and blurt my thoughts out. And then that way there's less time where we're sitting around and just looking at the stocks, and more about like, okay, there's 7 stories that I have to talk about today. Let's get through the 7 stories. Q&A. Bye. Or do I have this paused or something? No. Remember, your live stream is what helped you scale. You have no clue what's helped me scale. But yeah. Okay. The live stream is the easiest part. I love the live streams. It's not out of convenience for me. I would do that all the time. But I think the videos is where, like, you know, the next big step is possibly. As a shareholder, I'd like to vote no. Well, maybe I can do a more broader poll, like on X or something. Okay. Those people watching your videos don't know about your dented head. We do. It's true. You guys are like my family. The video guys, like, who are they? The live stream people, that's family. There's no one from the video only side that's coming to the meetups. I'm still going to be doing live streams. You guys are acting like I'm leaving you. Okay. The video guys don't know that your girlfriend's stock got increased guidance. It's true. That makes her sound like she got a breast implant or something. No, we're just engaged now. Have you seen the increased guidance on your girlfriend over there? Wow. Okay. It's weird. We're having like two different conversations. Everyone's crying out that Paul is complaining about ads in the thing, which I've already said I'm not doing ads, so you guys don't need to talk about it. And then also, too, this stream isn't starting. Tanner, what do you think about CoreWeave here? It's fine. It's a good company. Restart the stream. Oh, it seems to be working. It's running. It's just they've been on this screen for 4 minutes now. Well, whatever. I'll put it up whenever it comes up. Okay. Vlad's doing his hair. Okay. Let's see what else. So, do you guys have any opinion of what they're going to be talking about on this Hood event? I heard from Amit that it's going to be crypto focused, but I've not seen anything about it. Tokenized stocks, yeah. Yeah. Why the comment, the world is flat or the earth is flat or whatever it is? 24/7 trading. Maybe. Hood coming to Canada. I heard from somebody that you can get the app now. Where was that? Let me because I absolutely don't care about crypto right now or buying the dip. Even though I put it in my stock draft. I'm going to take a look. Robinhood. Yeah, it's here. Wow. There you go. Not bad. Not too shabby. Okay, maybe it'll be some of that then. 100K downloads already? It is only crypto trading, you're correct. Which could be big if we were in a like crypto bull market, but we are not. Okay. If you guys keep going on about ads, I'm going to play like a 3-minute ad. Stop talking about the ads. So sick of seeing it in the chat. You guys are going in circles talking about nothing. Does your stock draft have a community bracket? No. No, it does not. I also didn't make it. Steve made the thing. Steve has to make some changes to this thing. There's some features that I want improved that he just has to throw some tokens towards. But, oh man, I'm so close to being in first. I was in first place earlier today. And what I love, one of the best features, which is what I want him to expand, is this ability to, like you can see, I think right about here, I was above Matt for a little bit. Okay, wait, we're starting. It's definitely crypto. Okay, one sec. I might not be able to escape the music, to be honest. All right, I'm just gonna get dinged. It's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Chairman and CEO of Robinhood, Vlad Tenev, and Senior Vice President of Crypto and International, Johan Kerbrat.
Great to see you all. Well then, I know many of you traveled far and wide to be here today. Who here is local? All right, and who traveled from overseas? Great, well, wherever you're from, thank you for making the trip to the Old Royal Naval College here in Greenwich, London. Steps away from the Meridian Line, the center point for measuring time and place on Earth.
Our timing was pretty good, wasn't it? Yeah?
You know, starting this live stream just at 2-1 after England won, really well timed.
One sec. I just need to close it really quick
But tell
to
me, Vlad.
turn up the volume. One quick sec. Okay, it should be much better now.
Anyway, but I have to ask, do you really think the world is flat? Especially you, as a former mathematician?
Indeed, I do. And you're very kind to call me a mathematician. You see, most people adopt the beliefs and rely on the observations of others. Unfortunate, but it's true. But those who make history possess an almost irrational self-belief. What others deem impossible, they make possible. You know how they do that, Johan?
I don't know. Hard work, maybe?
Yes, but also by declaring it so. As one example, for a long time, we believed that ownership of a financial asset was only possible if validated via central bank or authority. We needed a giant building with big, sturdy columns and Baroque art on the ceilings and walls to create trust. But then someone, or some group of people, perhaps a guild, wrote a 9-page white paper that said we didn't need any of this. A peer-to-peer agreement, validated by mathematics, was enough to establish ownership. And now, 18 years later, here we are.
And I can tell you, Vlad, that white paper changed my life. I was literally working at McDonald's in France when it was written.
McDonald's in France, you say?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, is it really called Royale with cheese?
Well, it's actually a royal cheese.
Metric system.
All right, anyway, I remember reading that white paper and thinking, this is a solution to everything. And then I got into Bitcoin mining, and now I'm here with you.
Well, you know, the two of us, Johan, we come from different corners of the earth, but our shared ideology has brought us together.
Okay, well, but if you're saying that the world is flat figuratively, then yes, I agree with you. But if you're being literal, when I was watching your ship arrive through the spyglass, I saw the mast appear before the hull. Doesn't that prove the actual curvature of the Earth?
A common misconception. You don't just rely on the spyglass, Johan. Our tools, be they forged in brass or logic, often cloud the truth.
All right, so you're a mathematician and now a philosopher. All right, you're always surprising me, Vlad.
Well, not to worry. I'm not here to talk about epistemology. What we're here to discuss, maybe a bit simpler, but no less important on a macro scale. I'm here to talk about ownership. You see, a future owned by the few is inherently very fragile. Robinhood exists to make everyone an owner, because ownership of high-quality real-world assets is essential to a free, stable, and prosperous society. And our quest here, as you know, good sir, continues to be to expand it all over the world. You might remember this blackboard from last year. I brought it with me on the ship for one very specific reason.
You know, between you and I think you're getting a little obsessed with this chalkboard, but you know, it's good. Go ahead.
It's very nice, Johan. You can, very tactile.
Sure, true.
Yeah, very disappointing that we moved to whiteboards. So, you might have noticed I haven't erased it. Pretty amazing, right? This is a map in a way. A map we've charted of a new world where crypto and TradFi become one through a process we call tokenization, which opens up real-world productive assets to anyone. Now, at our event last year in south of France, we launched phase 1 of stock tokens, unlocking exposure to US equities. That's this part of the map right here. And to give you a preview, we're going to be significantly upgrading them. You'll see a brand new version that completely reimagines them and how they work. Now, the rest of the map was a vision for the future, one of those declarations that I was talking about earlier. Now, I've traveled here today along with some distinguished guests to see if that future has arrived.
And for once, I don't think you will be disappointed.
Okay, good to hear. Now, you and I have also been discussing expanding Robinhood's global trade routes.
That's right. So I send our most trusted leader to every corner of the world to accomplish this.
You do admit the world has corners.
All right, I send them around the world on these missions.
Spoken like a true roundie, Johan.
Anyway, today they will present their results to you. We have 5 speakers and over 12 big announcements to share with you.
Okay.
Lad, I hope you find them to your liking.
Well, I shall take my seat and listen intently to what they have to say.
Great. So let's start tonight's proceeding. We are gathered here today not to celebrate history, but to consider what would a new age of global innovation look like if it included everyone equally.
You're calling me a philosopher.
True. And first up, Rear Admirals Jordan Sinclair and Sang-Sung Lee have just returned from a year-long voyage democratizing finance across 3 continents. Gentlemen, please come forward. The floor is yours.
Thank you. And we do find it interesting you chose to come and visit around the time of Wimbledon and Formula One. Presume just a coincidence?
I'm not here to discuss trifling matters of sport and entertainment, gentlemen. Show me your progress.
Yes, of course. Well, we return with the news that we've broken a major threshold with over 1 million funded customer accounts outside the US. This brings the total of Robinhood's customers to nearly 28 million, spanning 38 countries and 3 continents.
You have my attention for now.
Great, because we have a number of global updates for you, starting right here at the Greenwich Meridian line. It's incredible to see so many familiar faces from our UK community. I even see one person who's been at every single event. We made a lot of progress here in the UK, recently adding ISAs with a 2% match. But even with this extensive list on screen, what's missing? That's right, crypto. You have been loud and clear that you want to keep crypto alongside your stocks and options. So I'm happy to announce that we plan to finally roll out crypto on the Robinhood UK app.
This is not nearly enough for our distinguished guests here. What else do you have?
Well, we do have something that our advanced crypto traders in the US are going to be very happy about. And that's a new professional trading experience with maker orders. This enables customers who want to offer liquidity on the platform to do so with fees as low as 0%, with no added spreads. With this, you're getting one of the most competitive offers out there for pro crypto traders, and it starts rolling out today across our mobile app and our advanced desktop experience on Legend.
I mean, Johan, it's a start, but I've traveled a long way to come here.
Wait a minute.
I know what you're thinking, Vlad. Still not enough. And I'm happy to deliver with 2 new expansions. So, on Canada Day, I'm excited to announce that today we are bringing home something that is long overdue, Robinhood. Thanks to our acquisition of WonderFi earlier this year, Robinhood is available to download in Canada. Just scan the QR code on the screen here and get started with a special offer of 0 trading fees for 90 days. I hope 0 fees needs your approval, Vlad.
I have had my eye on Canada for a while.
Exactly, and they delivered.
And whilst this is great for our friends in North America, we're also breaking ground in Asia. I'm excited to announce that Robinhood Singapore has received its Capital Market Services license from the Monetary Authority of Singapore.
See, Vlad?
It's a significant step towards offering brokerage services to our customers in the future. This is a really big moment for our growth across the region.
Not big enough in my book.
Well, we do have one last update. I can't promise that you'll like it, but I know our customers will. It's been over a year since we launched Robinhood in 30 European countries under our MiCA and MiFID licenses. Customers on Robinhood Europe have access to 90+ cryptocurrencies, tokenized exposure to thousands of stocks, 5% yield on your euros, and last but not least, crypto perpetual futures. And I have to say, our customers love perpetual futures. The only problem is that perps on Robinhood and most other platforms in Europe are only supported for crypto. And it was clear from talking to customers, they want perps on far more asset classes. So as of today, oil, gold, silver, ETF, and FX perpetual futures will be available on Robinhood Europe with up to 10x leverage and tradable 24/7. This is just the start of what you can access with perpetual futures on Robinhood. And before we go, there's one more thing. We're offering a 5% boost on qualifying cryptocurrency deposits into Robinhood Europe before July 30th.
5%.
And that's it from us. 5 announcements, 3 continents, and 38 countries. I hope that met your expectations, Vlad.
Well, I think there are 4 more continents and countless more countries, are there not?
There are, and we'll get right on it.
Come on.
What do you think of that, Johan?
Vlad, thank you for tearing apart my rear admirals once again. I think it's a real morale boost for everyone.
Not to worry, Johan. To further improve morale, I would be happy to take over this presentation and share some knowledge from the new world, where we are at the forefront of artificial intelligence innovation.
Hey, don't forget that we have Mistral here in Europe.
Oh, the Mistral, please don't remind me. Its gusts made the crypto winter especially brutal around the Mediterranean. Fortunately, I brought with me on my ship not just gifts and high expectations. I've also brought Gina Pasqua Abeliz to introduce you to the world of agentic trading. Are you ready?
All right.
Gina. Watch this, Johan.
Thank you, Vlad. And thank you for taking me across the Atlantic to show Johan this exciting technology. So let's start with Cortex, our personal financial assistant. We've given it a major upgrade to rely more heavily on core model reasoning, which allows Cortex to go far beyond what it was capable of before. This makes Cortex one of the only AI tools that can scan the web for the latest world events, pair that with real-time pricing data alongside trading insights to help you uncover new strategies. So there's a lot more it can do, but I'm going to show you just 3 of my new favorites. First, we launched Crypto Digest last year to help keep you informed. Now you can turn those insights into a live conversation here with Cortex. Here, I can pull up any symbol I care about, ask whatever I need to know, and then decide if I want to take a trade. Very cool.
Interactive digests are incredible. For my own investing, I've been relying exclusively on Cortex.
All right, interesting.
Okay, well, second, Cortex can make your tax planning easier as well, which I think we all likely need. Here, I asked it to show my current lots for Bitcoin, and it quickly found unrealized losses, helping me to uncover opportunities I did not even know I had for harvesting. From here, I can go directly into the tax lot sell flow to take action on these opportunities. And finally, you can now see summaries of what other Robinhood traders are asking Cortex right here in our trending questions section.
Check this out, Johan. Truly magnificent right here.
Okay, so it looks like a lot of people are interested in stablecoin adoption. Let's dig in from here with Cortex and find out more. I'm sure you all want to start exploring this for yourself. So Cortex with advanced reasoning will start rolling out this month to US Robinhood Gold members.
World class, simply world class.
If you say so.
Watch and learn. She's building to a crescendo. Go on, Gina.
That's right. Thank you, Vlad. Our AI journey is just starting. We are not stopping here. Last year, we announced a feature that everyone was excited about, multiple brokerage accounts, giving users the ability to create separate accounts for different use cases. And then just last month, we expanded support to crypto. Today, we are going one step further, and we're announcing the launch of agentic accounts for crypto trading. Now, why is this important? As I'm speaking, on the screens, you're seeing just an example of the pricing data, news, order book for Bitcoin that could happen over the course of just a few minutes. Institutional giants have the ability to use algorithms and rooms full of analysts to scan all of these data points 24/7. But the reality is, no single trader has the bandwidth to process this volume of data and have the same advantage. However, where humans drown, that's where agents thrive. With the launch of the Robinhood MCP and agentic accounts, your agent can act on patterns you would have otherwise missed. As you may know, we recently launched support for equities and options in the US. We've already seen over 70,000 agentic accounts opened in just the first few weeks. And today, I'm excited to share that soon we will introduce agentic trading for crypto as well.
Amazing.
So let's take a look at some of the things you can do once you set up your agentic account and selected your agent of choice. To start, let's have our agent build a watch list of stocks that specialize in crypto mining. As the agent is working, you can see your account update in real time as your watch list is created. Awesome. Okay, now let's ask it to invest $1,000 in that list. There you go. See, you can see your positions open and your real-time P&L all in your account. And now let's say I want to invest another $1,000 in that same list. I want to wait until these stocks drop 3 to 5%. Perfect. So our agent will be keeping an eye and reinvesting based on these parameters moving forward. What I love about this is you can work with an agent to create a strategy with specific guardrails and not need to be constantly monitoring your account. And if while you're out, your agent does identify an opportunity based on the strategies you've set up, you will receive a push notification alerting you of the action, ensuring you never miss a thing. This is another big step towards giving retail investors every advantage that institutions have enjoyed for decades. And it's available at no additional cost, with plans to bring it to the UK in the near future. And that's it for me. One presentation and 2 agents.
Incredible, incredible. Johan, amazing, isn't it? The capability of the admirals that we have in the new world.
You know, Vlad, it's not really fair. I think you are quite a little harder on my admirals than your own.
You're just making excuses. Thank you, Gina. You may return to the ship. Johan, now I have something that will truly knock your socks off. A third agent, one that I think you'll find very useful. Robinhood has just entered the agentic commerce space. We see a world with billions of agents paying each other and paying merchants. And as you continue to expand our global trade routes, much of this activity will be across borders. Now, there's been a flurry of rush stablecoin solutions coming to market over the past 2 years. But let's face it, not a lot of merchants accept stablecoins yet. If you want your agent to transact, here's what you need. Number one, ubiquitous merchant acceptance worldwide. You need fraud protections because it's dangerous out there. A lot of pirates in the open ocean. And third, if you want to be competitive with other payment methods, you need transaction rewards, not fees. Now, we think stablecoins will eventually get there. We're betting big on that future. You'll hear more about that later tonight. But in the meantime, while everyone is using the right buzzwords but doing nothing, we've launched what, to our knowledge, is the world's first consumer agentic credit card, and also the first agentic commerce product that you'll actually want to use. You may have seen our video online where we showed an agent buying a domain, creating a website, and setting up hosting autonomously by itself, 3 minutes, start to finish. Quite amazing. This morning, we tried something new to push the limits even further with our agentic card. So first thing we did, in the app, we turned off automatic approvals. We do want it to operate autonomously after all. Then we upped the spending limit to $10,000. Then we wrote this prompt that I think you'll find interesting. I'm speaking to 250 people at the Old Royal Naval College in London today. Many of them have supported what we're doing for a long time, and I'd like to get some gifts for them. Nothing too fancy, just interesting items that they might enjoy. I have to prepare for my presentation, so figure out all the details yourself. Make sure you get at least one gift for each person. That's the constraint. Make no mistakes. Okay, and after thinking for several seconds, hopefully we can see it thinking here, the agent leapt into action, okay? And it started adding small, thoughtful gifts to the cart here. So you can take a look. We've got some fancy chocolates, always thoughtful. There's perfume and some champagne glasses that I can see there for that special trader in your life. Some serum for aging skin. I don't know if any of us really need that. From here, the agent actually went ahead and purchased your gifts for delivery today. And I thought that was pretty impressive.
All right, all right.
A historic first, you might say. But I can't be certain about that. So some of you who have been following Robinhood for a long time may know that I have a particular fascination with the Guinness Book of World Records. We were the first major brokerage to offer commission-free trading of stocks, options, and crypto. More recently, again to my knowledge, we were the first to offer exposure to thousands of US stocks through tokenization, not to mention private stocks like OpenAI and SpaceX at the time. We were also the first to hold an outdoor earnings call, and that was very nice weather. And I have no doubt that there are many other firsts, and there will be in the future. But I don't know for sure, because Guinness wasn't there to certify them officially. So today, starting right now, that officially changes. I'd like to introduce you all to Pravin Patel, who is one of the official adjudicators, come on up, for Guinness World Records. So Guinness is located in London, just a stone's throw away from here. So we had to invite Mr. Patel here in person.
Well, good evening. Absolutely delighted to be invited by Robinhood Markets to verify the record for the most purchases by an AI agent in 3 minutes by a single credit card. So with any Guinness World Records title, the secret is always in the title itself. Most purchases by an AI agent in 3 minutes by a single credit card. And we have to check that. This is a brand new record, and we love new records. You must have approached us. We want to do this. We like the idea. But we didn't tell you, oh, go ahead and break the record. Make up your own rules. No. We took the idea, we developed it with you, and then we came up with some rules and some minimums. Because this is a first record, right? We didn't say, oh, come with 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, 150. We set you a challenging target of 200 purchases in 3 minutes. That's the minimum. But again, it's not just about the numbers.
No.
It's also very important that you follow the guidelines we have set you. These are very, very strict. So that no matter where you are, whether you're in London, here, in Tokyo, in Beijing, or in New York, you have to follow the same guidelines. Absolutely essential. But remember the number 200? I will ask somebody later to remind us what that minimum was.
Amazing.
So the key points are, the AI agent serves as a decision maker, whilst a credit card provides a controlled method of payment. An AI system monitors the marketplace, compares available options, and automatically purchases the items. All purchases must be made using the AI agent. We check that. The AI agent may buy from a single seller or from multiple sellers. It doesn't matter. There can be multiple items purchased in a single transaction. However, all items have to be unique. You can't just buy one item 200 times.
That'd be far too easy.
Absolutely not. A detailed breakdown of the Agentic credit card must be provided. We check that. Every purchase must be fully completed transaction. We check that. So we didn't want you to just say, oh, we've ordered it. Thank you.
For real, why are they going on with this? I feel like they don't have a lot to show off, and they've already shown it off, and now they're going off. Like, you can do this with, oh, I'm the first person to hold a knife while lifting 5 books and burping 5 times. And if you pay Guinness World Records, they'll come out and make you your own stupid, like this. No one else is even competing. No one else is trying to do Agentic cards, the amount of purchases in 2 minutes or whatever the heck they said. They're a one of one. No one else is competing. Why are we doing this?
What's underpinning this actual attempt? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just one more thing. I must mention a crew member from your engine room. He was absolutely brilliant this morning because we went through the attempts, and as everything, you practice, but when it comes to the starting line in a competition, things don't go quite so well. So I'd like to thank Arjun and his team. Because he was here and his crew were up at 2 o'clock in the morning somewhere in the States, and they're all there providing the support, and they did their work. So can I ask, what was the minimum set? Can I ask somebody? How much? Oh, absolutely, right. And so, with a total of 250 Robinhood Markets, you are the Guinness World Records title holder for the most purchases by an AI agent in 3 minutes by a single credit card. Congratulations, you are officially amazing. Can you take this one? There you go, sir.
Thank you.
This is yours.
You know, this has been a dream of mine for a very long time. And this is one of those records that may never be broken. It's like Wilt Chamberlain's 100 points in a basketball game. But if it is broken, I hope it'll be broken using our Agentic credit card, because our team is already hard at work making it faster and more performant. So thank you, Pravin. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it? So if you turn and look behind you, you'll see that your record-setting gifts have been delivered and are being laid out for you to pick up at the end of the event. A gift from our agent to you. So enjoy these as a thank you. You're all part of this record now, immortalized in the annals of Guinness. And of course, breaking this record is just one of countless things that you can do or your agent can do with our Agentic card. You can tell it to procure tickets for the theater or opera the moment they're released. Johan, you can ask it to buy that vintage timepiece that you've had your eye on as soon as it's listed below a certain price. Or you can have it plan your trip to join us at our next voyage, Hood Summit in September. Transport, lodging, rations. Plus, if you want, you can turn on approvals to validate and approve transactions on a case-by-case basis. You can change spending limits. Of course, you can revoke access at any time if you feel like it might be going rogue. The Robinhood Agentic credit card is available now for all our cardholders. Johan, what do you think?
You know, that was pretty impressive, I have to say. Very theatrical. But too bad you have to get the credit card only for a US customer.
Yep, you've got me on that one. You'll have to get your Royale with cheese the old-fashioned way. Or sorry, royal cheese.
All right, well, you may think you've won the day with your Agentic announcement, but I feel we're all a bit tired of hearing about AI in the news lately. So if you will allow me to resume the report you came here for, let's get into what we really care about and the reason we are all here today, crypto.
Well said. The floor is yours, Commander.
Well, so last year, we briefly announced something that got a lot of people very excited, the Robinhood chain. In February, we partnered with Offchain and launched a testnet on the Arbitrum stack, and have seen nearly 200 million transactions since. Then we got to work, teaming up with some incredible partners to help us make the chain the best platform for real-world assets.
Okay.
So I'm excited to announce that we're officially launching the chain today. All right, thanks for the applause, but let's be honest, this is nothing to write home about. Every day, there's a new chain being launched. So it's not special because we did it, it's special because of what this chain now makes possible. So I would like to bring up our Vice Admiral, Hilary Skeffington, to tell you more. Hilary, welcome. I'm going to put all the pressure on you. What do you think makes this chain different?
Thanks for quite the intro, Johan. You don't get to be Vice Admiral by doing the easy work. So let's get into it. A lot of people build chains to launch a token, and that's obviously not what we're here to do. We built the Robinhood chain because we believe decentralized trading should be as intuitive as the Robinhood experience millions of people already know and trust today. So what does this actually mean in practice? We put accessibility, fast execution, and security first. In addition, both Lighter and Arcus, a new exchange by the team behind DYDX, are launching perpetual and spot trading exchanges on the chain itself so that anyone can access it with their own wallet. But that's just the beginning. On top of this, the Robinhood chain is optimized for the world of crypto today, which has changed quite a bit in the past few years. And I know, Johan, you said you were pretty tired of AI, but as an example, most chains are working on legacy technology that didn't anticipate this development. So we designed the Robinhood chain from the start to be AI native. And already, Uniswap and Privy have deployed their skills directly on the chain. So this means developers can easily build agents that act on behalf of users who want to swap a token at the best rate or find the best liquidity pool. They can do everything from connecting a wallet, choosing a DEX, and even sign a transaction. The user just sees the end outcome. And that's not all. As you may know, our vision is that most of the world's assets will eventually move on-chain. So think real estate, private markets, art, and beyond. So most importantly, we've designed the chain for tokenized real-world assets, for institutional integration, and for a future where TradFi and crypto merge. Okay, so I'm sure some of you are excited to start exploring what's possible. So we've compiled all the necessary information you'll need to connect at the QR code on the screen.
Very promising, Vice Admiral. I hope with a robust chain like this, you have a robust wallet to match.
We do. We definitely do. We've actually been upgrading the Robinhood wallet to exist side by side with the chain.
Good. Can we see it?
Yeah, actually, if you haven't seen it before, the Robinhood wallet includes something most decentralized wallets don't have: the same simple UI and UX that made us famous. On top of that, we're bringing over more of our most popular features, including perpetuals. We're rolling out access to this in the Robinhood wallet now. You will find a first-class experience focused on fast execution and security. Later, we'll be powering the native perpetual on the wallet as well, and we'll continue to deepen our collaboration with them.
Very nice.
Let me show you how this works. This is what the wallet looks like from the perspective of an international user opening the app for the first time. You will notice this new tab at the bottom with all the perpetual available. To start with, let's choose a contract. What company are you all most excited about besides Robinhood, of course? All right, I heard SpaceX, so no surprise there. It was a big IPO. So you can see all the contract details right here on the detail page. And of course, you can open a position. So let's say we are going to open a long position. You will be able to change the margin very easily with a slider. And you can change the leverage. Let's say we are going to do 6x. Of course, you have a review screen to make sure that everything is right. And you can confirm just by swiping it. And voila, a new order placed in a few taps directly on the Lighter exchange, settling on the Robinhood chain.
Good speed on that.
And that's not all. Lighter has committed 11 million worth of lead token to the Robinhood community. Here's how you earn your share. Starting August 1st, every perps trade in eligible jurisdiction earn points, and 2 times in the Robinhood wallet. And those points will convert directly into lead token from that pool. But we're not stopping here. Let's talk about global ownership.
My favorite topic. I truly believe broad ownership can change the world.
Then I think you'll be pleased with what we're doing.
All right, let's see it.
So for a lot of people outside the US, stock trading is harder to access than it should be. But markets are global, and stocks shouldn't feel locked behind borders, limited to inconvenient time zones, or buried in interfaces that were never built for how most people actually invest. So last year we did something about it, and as you saw in Vlad's infamous chalkboard, we launched over 2,000 classic stock tokens to give our EU customers a shot at getting exposure to companies like Tesla or Apple, all using crypto rails. But that was just the beginning. The plan has always been to unlock stock tokens, taking them out of our walled garden and into the open world of DeFi. So, introducing our new stock tokens. Now, to clarify, we're not just taking our old tokens and putting them on DeFi, we actually completely changed the structure. So the new stock tokens are still backed 1-to-1, and now your interest is secured no matter what happens to Robinhood.
That's right, Admiral. Our enterprise rests on a foundation of safety and security, always.
It does, it does. And next, we're looking to enable institutions to redeem tokens directly for shares.
Brilliant.
But most importantly, they're built DeFi first, which means you can move them on chain, hold them in your own wallet, trade them 24/7 globally, and most importantly, put them to work right alongside the rest of your crypto.
All right, Vice Admiral Skeffington, are they available in international waters? My crew was frustrated that they were only in Europe last year.
Great question. Yes, they are. And this time, these stock tokens can travel actually much farther. They're now available directly to use in the Robinhood wallet in over 120 countries.
Over 120 countries. All right. Very good, very good. Very important work. Perhaps one of you can briefly demonstrate how they work.
Yeah, I got this. So let's go back to our wallet that I just introduced you to. And let's search for the stock token of the company that we care about. So you mentioned SpaceX earlier. I'm going to, oops.
Not that one.
Search for it. And this is a detail page of the SpaceX stock token that will looks the same for all the assets that we support. And like any other asset, I can buy it through one of our decentralized exchange connected to the Robinhood chain. I'm going to use USDG for this demo, but we've also started to roll out easy funding of your Robinhood wallet with fiat. It supports Apple Pay and Google Pay.
Clean.
Let's say that I'm going to spend about $1,000 to buy the tokens. You're going to get the quotes in real time, updated constantly. And once you're satisfied with your order, you can confirm the purchase by swiping again. And it is based on the Robinhood chain, so everything is going to update pretty quickly. And you will be able to see your balance changing right after.
Wow.
And now, like any crypto asset, you can transfer this token or use them on DeFi as collateral. And this is where it gets even more interesting. Let's travel 3,100 miles south of here, directly along the Prime Meridian, where a friend of ours, Abu, lives. He works with Beast Philanthropy in Ghana, and he's helping build an education fund to give young people in cacao growing communities more opportunities. They are a great organization, and we've made a donation recently. But in addition to that, let's say I wanted to send him a stock to start investing. It will usually take 2 to 4 weeks minimum, and so much paperwork and bureaucracy, it's almost not worth it. Unfortunately, this is true of sending stock to most countries. However, on crypto rails, it only takes seconds to send a stock token around the world. All he has to do is to download the Robin wallet, send me the QR code, and I can get him the tokens immediately. No red tape, no intermediaries, no 4-week nightmare. So to show you what I'm talking about, let's send this SpaceX stock token to Abu, who's in Ghana right now. Abu sent me his QR code, so all I have to do is to open the send flow, scan the QR code, and then get this to him. Of course, there is security, always. And that is that quick. They should already be in this wallet. Let's check in and see if you got them.
Hi, Johan. We just got them. We are super excited for receiving something like this. On behalf of the students and the families across all our 11 partner communities, we say a very big thank you to Robinhood and everyone who has contributed to this great effort. This support will help many young people to stay in school, continue their education, and build a brighter future for themselves, their families, and the community as a whole. I hope you visit us soon to see the difference this makes in the lives of the community members. Thank you. We really appreciate this a lot. Thank you so much.
Obviously, we would have loved to have Abu call us in live, but I really hope that I can take him up on his offer if Vlad allows me to take a vacation.
Team, the idea that ownership of stock tokens for such innovative companies could be extended so far across the world would have seemed like science fiction just 1 year ago. So I'm excited for this to become commonplace and hopefully lead to a massive expansion of global wealth and opportunity.
You're
and
right,
I heard what you said about vacation.
Okay, I will try to do a very small one, though. But you were right. This is one of the biggest steps we've taken in terms of our mission to make everyone in the world an owner. And as you just saw, wherever you may be in the world, the Robinhood wallet is one of the best ways to get exposure to US stocks, perps, and more. So to celebrate all of this, we're picking up the tab. For the next 90 days, we'll cover gas fees in the wallet for anyone transacting on the Robinhood chain. That means your gas fees for swaps, crypto and stock token alike, and any bridge transaction into the chain are on us. And of course, no fees on perps using Lighter. So is that up to your standard, Vlad?
Must say, Johan, I think you've succeeded in opening up infinite new paths to ownership. Praveen, what do you think? One more?
Yeah, absolutely.
One more record?
Well, and speaking of records, I should add, if you are one of the viewers of last year's event who received the first ever private SpaceX token a year before the IPO last month, they will be fully tradable as soon as the standard lockup period expires in December.
Truly. You've surprised me, Johan. I must admit, I feel a little bad. was a bit hard on the rear admirals earlier, was I not?
You were, sir. But a little discipline is good for product velocity after all.
I'm glad you said that. I feel much better.
And actually, we're not done yet, Vlad. So before you go, we have a tribute just for you, something special that we want to bring back to the new world.
Tribute for me?
That's right. We have something we've been working on for our US customers, our first DeFi lending product. First, though, let's talk about the way things used to be in crypto. And Johan, I hear you lived through quite a few hardships.
Yes, I have many. Exploring new frontiers in the financial world can be dangerous. Last year, I shared my tragic Mongoose story. So this year, I would like to talk about the incredible yield I was making on my UST on the Terra blockchain.
Ugh.
I was not the only one, apparently. And we all know how that ended. And that's why I'm still working at Robinhood.
Wait, you don't mean it's not because of the ambitious mission and visionary leadership?
Yeah, that too. But there used to be a trade-off. You stick with StrideFi and you make less yield, but your money is safe. Or you take a risk for a higher reward and go with crypto, but you're in the open ocean. Anything can happen, and no one is there to protect you but you. That's why we're excited to launch Robinhood Earn, the first decentralized lending product available through the Robinhood app. We've spent the last year searching for a way to give you the best of both worlds. Higher rewards and higher protection, powered by the Robinhood chain. Of course, that means using not just the Robinhood chain, but also the stablecoin that powers it, USDG. USDG is our native dollar-backed stablecoin, which has already grown to a market cap of almost $3 billion in less than 2 years. And of course, you can mint and redeem USDG on Robinhood for free. Hillary was the lead on this, so she's probably more qualified than me to show you how it all works.
Thanks, Johan. But really, anyone can do this. That's kind of the whole point. So in order to access these higher rates, you usually have to set up your own non-custodial wallet, navigate a new protocol, figure out all kinds of permissions, and then finally connect multiple applications to track your performance. But not today. Now you will be able to access these rates in a self-custody wallet that's embedded directly into your main Robinhood app. You can put your crypto to work and start earning rewards instantly, with everything visible where you already manage your portfolio today. Okay, so what is the rate?
The question on all of our minds.
Yes. Before I show you, when we looked at other products, we saw they would lead with a really impressive hero rate. Then within days, or actually in my case, literally within the same day, that rate would drop by as much as 100 basis points. So that's why Robinhood Earn is launching at a 7% APY.
Good rate.
Good rate. And that's not all. The APY moves in step with the volume of loans, an approach we believe will result in a more predictable rate over time. Okay, now let's discuss the second problem with higher rates, safety. I definitely don't want to end up like Johan. So we searched the globe to find the best insurance we could, and we found exactly that. 2 insurers, 1 shared mission. We've partnered with the venerable Lloyds of London, who bring 3 centuries of strength, and Realm, whose expertise are built for the digital asset economy.
And Vlad, this will actually be one of the largest ever insurance program across the crypto industry.
Quite possibly, rumor has it, the largest, right?
Potentially. And underneath this, the lending itself runs on Morpho, one of the most established protocols in decentralized finance, all accessible via the main Robinhood app. So I'm actually going to show you how easy it is to lend my crypto and earn the 7%. And fair warning, the 7% was just too good, so I actually deposited about $20,000 a few days ago. And as you can see here, it's doing pretty well. So I'll lend a little bit more, and I'll lend about $1,000 so you can see the full experience at scale. This product uses USDG, but you can actually start with your own cash balance. And rather than buying USDG and then separately starting a deposit, we've made it a seamless flow so that you can both buy and lend within the same experience.
Very good.
All right, I'll start by lending. I'll input $1,000. I'm going to confirm my USDG purchase. And by submitting, I'm actually authorizing this transaction on chain. So that's 3 taps and faster than swiping my credit card.
And it's definitely faster than the Agentic credit card purchase you just demonstrated.
The deposit will settle on the Robinhood chain within a few seconds. And as you can see, just like that, the earnings are accumulating right now, live. Okay, so now let's say I'd like to use a portion of these funds for a vacation, say right after this event.
What's up with all these vacations?
You know, it's a summer after all.
It's as easy as clicking withdraw, inputting an amount, review, submit, and again, in a matter of seconds, the USDG will be available back in my Robinhood crypto account. So as far as I can tell, this is the first time DeFi is reaching mainstream customers at this scale with this much simplicity and launching at a 7% APY. Traditional saving rates top out well below that, and DeFi has offered high yields for years, but without the safety mainstream customers expect. What's new is the combination, a competitive rate, but now with more protection and simplicity than DeFi has traditionally offered. Today, we'll be rolling out to 1% of US customers, including everyone here in the audience that is eligible, and ramping up to all qualified customers over the next few weeks. And don't forget, if you're moving your crypto over to Robinhood, we're offering a 3% match on eligible cryptocurrencies. So while I'm no mathematician like Vlad, 3% when you deposit, some 7% when you lend sounds pretty good to me. We've been working really hard on this for the last year, so I'm very excited to finally get this into the hands of customers. Back to you, Johan.
Thank you, Hillary. Thanks to Hillary for the first time Vlad is speechless.
It's pretty good, pretty good.
But tell us, how are you feeling about tonight's report? Do you think we accomplished the mission?
Well, Johan, I don't intend to be ungrateful, but for a tribute, I was expecting a bag of gold or some valuables, not exactly a product launch. So do you have nothing else for me?
All right, Vlad. We all know your net worth, and 7% of yield on your existing net worth, that's way better than a bag of gold.
I'm not going to lie. I was doing the math in my seat there.
Well, send it over.
Okay, I love that confidence. Anyway, you had asked earlier whether I really believed that the world was flat. You yourself have just proven it so, and expanded ownership to every corner of the globe.
All right, I see what you just did there. But, you know, I think we have enough. You can finally erase your chalkboard now.
Well, I don't know about that, Johan. You see, I'm an explorer at heart. We never erase our maps. We push further into the unknown, and we add to our maps. Because, you see, there are always new regions where ownership is less common. There are important discoveries to be made. There are incredible possibilities of this technology that we're building to be shared with customers and, of course, with the world. So, what do you think, Johan? Do you think you and the team can handle all this?
Well, you know, if you didn't make them all quit today, I'm sure they can.
Great. I've got to admit, Johan, I am pleased with your progress, and I'm also pleasantly surprised by the innovative spirit you have here in the old continent. I think it's time for me to leave you to your business because you're doing just fine without me being here. Keep an eye on those admirals, though.
I will.
And thank you also to everyone here for coming from all corners of the earth to be with us tonight. Godspeed, and see you at Hood Summit.
Okay. Let's talk about it. First off, I saw so many comments saying it's cringe and all that stuff. They're fully aware that they're putting on a fun. They're not trying to make it look real. So, it's only cringe if you're trying to be, you know, if you're trying to be serious. They're just having fun. That said, let's talk about the actual products. I think on the crypto side and everything, Many of these products, I think, will become mainstream, especially Robinhood Earn. The only thing that I laughed at there was that Coinbase Earn got shut down like super hard under Gary Gensler. Now with the new SEC, there's definitely, obviously a different approach. So these products could definitely gain steam. Now, in terms of the 7%, the people who are celebrating that and clapping their hands and everything are the people who don't follow a lot of the interest rates in the DeFi world. I think that's pretty normal, and I think Coinbase Earn, whenever that was something like 9+%, depending on the products that you ended up choosing. And but yeah, with the insurance, especially with the names that they said, Lloyd's of London is gigantic. So that was quite interesting. But they do a lot of specialty insurance, and maybe that fits in. I think that's cool, and maybe it becomes very mainstream. But crypto is not mainstream right now. What I'm excited about is that they now have these types of products for whenever the bull market does come back. And to have, 3% match or 5% match outside of the United States, there will be a lot of people who are very active traders who are looking for perp trading, which is bigger than the actual traditional stock markets. These types of products will become extremely popular. And if there is someone who can genuinely compete one-to-one with the product lines that Coinbase has, look at Coinbase's earnings. There's an opportunity for them to grow into multi-billion-dollar revenue streams. Crypto can be way bigger, but alongside that, you're going to gain new customers who might also want equity trading, who might also want a credit card, who might also want retirement accounts, et cetera, et cetera. And it's really filling in that financial super app, especially for active traders. As for the Agentic credit card, I think there will be use cases that appear. I'm not sure that we know what they are yet. There's not a lot of, people who need to make 200 purchases for 200 guests of random gifts and all of this stuff. What are the real use cases? I'm not sure. I see that more for the business side, being able to put in purchases and stuff to make sure that your inventory stays at a certain level, but all that needs to be tracked. It'd be hard to go on an Agentic credit card and say, hey, make purchases of Amazon or from Amazon every time I need toilet paper. How does it know you need toilet paper? But I'm sure those types of use cases will be seen as time goes on. I thought that the presentation could have been a lot shorter. There was a lot of filler in there. But either way, does anyone have an example of a use case for Agentic credit cards, like a real use case? I'd love to hear it if you do. Okay. Anyone who thinks negatively about Robinhood, though, after that event, I don't see how you can think that way. The interesting part about Robinhood is that the actual cost to run their business on many of their products, like equities trading, for example, doesn't change at all whenever they're adding on all of these new features. They will have to be constantly moving their focus, but once the trading products are built out, they're built and they work and they run, and the cost to serve those customers, stays extremely low. And then you can add on new features and more products. And that brokerage side of things is working really well. We just need them to continue to innovate and add larger and larger total addressable markets over time. That makes sense to me. Scalping would be huge. If you say, hey, the second this, Magic the Gathering or Pokemon thing ends up coming available, purchase it, the exact same second. I could see that. That makes sense. That does make sense. I guess that's a real use case. But even that's a small market. I'm not going in and scalping Pokemon cards or something like this. Okay. Buying tickets for events. Yep. Yeah, repeatable purchases. But I'm pretty sure repeatable purchases, you don't need an agentic credit card to make a repeatable purchase. You can just tell Amazon to put it on subscribe. But yeah. Okay. Find me the cheapest price for this item. Yeah, but you don't need a credit card to do that. You could do that with AI. You could tell OpenAI to do that. You don't need your credit card to do that. I didn't sign up for the Canadian Robinhood app. It's only a crypto app. I think a lot of people, like even Steve called me and he was like, Robinhood's in Canada. It's like, I mean, no, it's the one part of the product that I don't want. And even if they end up bringing equities or something like this, I'm still not going to get it. There's zero benefits to me versus the apps that I already use. The benefits is if it comes with the full ecosystem. You know, there's individual products that are better on Robinhood than, let's say, Wealthsimple, you know, 2% credit card versus 3% credit card or something like this. But the crypto side of things, I mean, right now, having free commission or something like this would be nice, but I'm not really actively buying Bitcoin or Ethereum. Would you switch with a match? Maybe, to bring my money over to Robinhood. Yeah. Yeah, I could do that. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, though, that is it for me today. It was supposed to be a shorter episode. I forgot about the Hood event. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Hood event. As cringy as it was, they were definitely fully aware, and that was the joke. But onward and upward for Hood. It doesn't change the way I think about the company. If anything, it's only more positive because the crypto market will be a big one, as we've seen from Coinbase. Coinbase is 99% focused on crypto, and they still sport a $42 billion market cap, and that's at lows. So if things recover, so will the Hood thing, and maybe they can truly be a very real competitor to Coinbase. But on top of that, you still have the traditional businesses, event contracts, equities, options, credit cards, banking. I could go on and on and on. That will continue to grow over time while they're focused and growing in other areas. Thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate your time. If you haven't already, subscribe. Bye for now.